Twitter cracks down on Chili DeCastro, flags his account for half a day for anti-Israel comments, doubles down on insanity as he holds a live stream just to keep his channel alive. There's a warrant out for Floyd Wallace's arrest. He crowdsources for travel expenses to go to jail? Really? Plus, Craig Henry falls from grace. Brings in $65 for the month? What's up with that? We discuss all this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast powered by ReallyCoolNews. I'm AI Johnny Jones, and I'm your host tonight for another combined edition of the newscast tonight, covering Friday, February 28th and Saturday, March 1st, 2025. We got a lot to get to tonight, and it gets kind of deep tonight, so put on your muck boots and let's get started as I ask you to focus on
Twitter flags DeCastro over anti-Israel comments. Jose Chili DeCastro's Twitter account was temporarily limited on Thursday after posting what he claims to have been questions about placing support for Israel first over the interests of the United States. DeCastro's account was flagged by the service with a notice in his notifications reading, "We've added a temporary label to your account which may impact its reach." Learn more here. Flagging by Twitter may happen for a lot of reasons and usually results in a limit on the account of who can comment on your posts and a limit placed a user's account of who can see the same posts. In effect, he was given notice that he would be shadow banned for his comments, which are the same claims he had previously made against YouTube. This temporary ban may hinder his ability to interact with his fans on the platform but was apparently cleared up later on Thursday. As of press time, we've had no problem reading or replying to his posts. However, we can't tell if it's a bigger issue as DeCastro's following on the platform was minuscule before the ban, as the only responses he seems to get are an equal mix of a handful of supporters and dedicated trolls. Unlike his previous suspension from the platform, where DeCastro had been banned for doxing YouTuber Glober Mom until he removed the controversial content, the flag and ban appeared temporary and appeared to go away by the end of the week. DeCastro's comments came after a disastrous Wednesday night livestream in which he admitted that he was essentially streaming in order to provide his editors with material to use for standalone anti-police videos. He had no other point or purpose and seemed to be stuck in a rut with his feigned outrage. The crux of his attacks was on the Midwest Safety YouTube, which features edited body cam videos. DeCastro attempted to convince his audience that the channel was a psychological operation run by a former police officer. DeCastro complained bitterly about the amount of revenue generated by the channel from each video. He then questioned how the channel obtained its videos and how the person running it knew which videos and case numbers to request in order to make an interesting video. Updating his Constitution headquarters game, DeCastro said that there may be a delay on his release of videos in support of the game as he's copywriting all the videos at copyright.gov before releasing them to YouTube. He also said that he has repurposed his First Amendment auditor idea and the project will be coming out in another platform with multiple partners involved. DeCastro finished the livestream by assuring his fans that he would get paid for the overturning of his arrest last year in Las Vegas, Nevada. New to his angry rant about the situation came the idea that he would be suing Judge Michelle Levitt, who oversaw his appeal, for not allowing him out of jail during the appeals process. While the YouTuber has reopened his GoFundMe campaigns related to funding lawsuits, he has yet to follow through on any of his lawsuit threats in regard to the appeals process of his 2023 arrest in Las Vegas. His existing federal civil rights lawsuit against the officers who arrested him is currently facing a second summary judgment motion, which may result in the dismissal of the lawsuit. This is an ongoing news story.
Craig Hendry toppled. Who took the top spot for February? Well, that was a kick in the teeth, wasn't it? While March tends to go in like a lion and out like a lamb, February went in like a jilted lover who locked her ex-boyfriend in a storage pod and out like that person arranging to send the pod to the far east without anyone discovering the body. The market itself was down 80% from January, falling from a combined take of $2,600 in the then happy glow of the new year to a pitiful $530 combined take for February, with, spoiler warning, the vast majority of that total coming from our own ongoing expenses campaign. There's a lot of reasons for it. Tax time is approaching. Eggs are $10 a dozen in some places. Auditors have decided it's too cold to audit and hard to live stream from their homes. And of course, it's too hard to ask for money from the fans when it's so miserable outside. 4 campaigns saw play for the month, with the top slot going to our ongoing expenses account, which took in $315 for the month and was down 53% from January. While we're the loudest at reminding people that we're here and contributing to our fund is a way to ensure that you have a paper every couple of days when the auditors and personalities in the community do anything worth talking about, we should not be the month-to-month leader in this space. Sean Paul Long Island Audit Reyes Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption campaign came in second with a $126 take, down 24% from January. This one is mind-boggling as Reyes is literally the only active major auditor left. Everyone else has focused on best of repacking of old videos, while Reyes is making headlines everywhere for the lawyers quitting his many legal cases. If the market can't support Reyes, there's a serious problem. Coming in third for the month with a take of $65 is Craig Hendry's To Support Craig's Work campaign. The difference between the January and February tallies is 183%. The reason for his decline is actually easy. Craig has not been allowed to address his fans via phone calls from the prison, and Jose Chili De Castro no longer bothers to fundraise for him. With the betrayal by De Castro, this one isn't expected to do well as March approaches. Finally, in the only positive news for the month, fourth place went to Lane Meyer's Legal Defense Fund, which went from negative $5 for January to $25 for February. Our percentage calculator refuses to do the math on this one, but it's a positive gain and brought Myers back into the black for the year. Campaigns that brought in donations for January, but nothing for February include the unofficial Support Chill De Castro Fund, Help BZ Watchdog Hold Police Accountable, Liberty Trolls Support the Fight for Our Constitutional Rights, and the Angry Vets Boo Scars Mission for Veterans and Citizens Fund. The Angry Vets campaign is notable as several outlets are now reporting that he has, in fact, finally registered his SCARS organization with the IRS and may have been granted an official status as a 501c3 organization. It remains to be seen if the organization is too damaged at this point to attract contributors, but failing to receive a single donation to either account after such good news is a warning sign for the future. Long Island Audit got the win for the second to last day of February with a $5 donation to his Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption campaign. There were no new donations on Friday, as the market went back to sleep as the new month approached.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our videos from beginning to end, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
Floyd Wallace fundraises for travel fare to go to jail. In a surprise live stream, Floyd Wallace went live Saturday morning in order to crowdsource for the $100 he claimed he needed to buy a flight from Texas to Norman, Oklahoma, where he would turn himself in on an outstanding warrant on Monday. Wallace's warrant stems from his previously reported missed court date on February 18, 2025. The YouTuber was due to appear in court for a charge of interference with a police officer dating back to the summer of 2023. After many delays, some intentionally caused by the YouTuber to permit him to have extended sex tours of South America, the case was set for Wallace to take a plea deal at his missed court date. Wallace says he would accept a 30-day sentence to county jail and expected to be out in 10 days for good behavior. Unusually heavy snow in the Norman, Oklahoma area saw the courts in Cleveland County closed on February 18, 2025. This is where Wallace's story gets murky, as even though we verified that the Cleveland County courts were indeed closed due to winter weather, Wallace also had explained he had overslept and was not able to travel the 6-hour drive to court. Wallace's story got murkier on Saturday, as he claimed he needed $100 for a flight to Oklahoma, after admitting he only had $200 to his name, and then started looking up pricing for options to go to Oklahoma. He displayed no knowledge of his options to get to Oklahoma, as if he was doing the searches for the first time. On Saturday, Wallace claimed that he had worked out a deal with his attorney to report to the attorney's office at 2 p.m. on Monday in Norman, Oklahoma. Then they would go to the sheriff's department to turn himself in for the outstanding warrant. Ideally, he would accept the plea deal at the same time and go directly to jail for his 10 days. It is unclear, however, how his warrant will actually impact his case, as he openly admitted that he did not call the sheriff's office or court on the 18th and assumed that he would be sent a new court date because the court was closed. The YouTuber also said he was afraid of an Oklahoma's law that turned a warrant for failing to show up for a court hearing into a felony charge after 30 days of avoiding law enforcement. The law would add a felony charge to Wallace's record, and he could face up to 2 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine if convicted. When asked about former mentor Jose Chili DeCastro and possibly getting DeCastro to fundraise on his behalf, Wallace said that he had screwed up that friendship and that he and DeCastro no longer talk. He said he had a lot of regrets, and he had messed up things. Wallace eventually raised the $100 he was seeking for his transportation fees. He also claimed that he would soon be living with a cousin who was getting him a job working at a factory at a place that did not require background checks. He also claimed that he'd eventually be moving back to Nebraska to find work before resuming his sex tourism lifestyle. And we're back. So, Floyd is a special kind of something. We don't recommend giving him money or letting him prepare your travel plans. We also wouldn't let Chili DeCastro do our taxes, but that's just us. Just a reminder that Jim and the gang will be back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern with another edition of the Not Another Jim livestream. Stop on by and have some fun. Good night, everyone.